Okay, so something is happening in Bitcoin that we've seen before this year. I'm going to break that down. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about because it's very, very much similar to what we've seen. And I've documented this. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. But first, I did add more to the IBIT position. So here's the current value as of today's market close. Monday's it's gonna be the market's gonna be closed because it is a U.S. holiday technically. But it doesn't matter. That shouldn't really influence Bitcoin too much. There is a few things I want to talk about before I jump into this, and we will look at Mara stock after Bitcoin. I'm not gonna make it too long because there's not really a whole lot to talk about. The supportive structures that I've talked about in yesterday's video, and it's actually filling sooner rather than later, which is actually really, really good for me as we get very, very close to ending August. But here's the thing, right? There's a really, really good reminder, right? A lot of people think the bear market has started. There's a lot of people that think, everyone forgets what makes sense when fear kicks in. And same thing, everyone forgets what makes sense once there's a whole ton of optimism. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. But you guys got to remember, there's a whole lot of different other sources to look at this. I'm not really sure how accurate this is, but it's just a reminder that the US or the US government's debt is continuously growing. And they're eventually going to have to print money to issue, they're going to have to issue more treasuries or some more bonds and to try to somewhat keep themselves balanced. The debt ceiling is gonna have to, they're gonna have to raise it even more. And regardless, in order to do a lot of this easier, well, they need to cut rates eventually. So the pressure is on for like rate cuts. So we'll see how September's Fed meeting goes, the rate meeting. And I'm not really sure if this is actually influencing the overall market or Bitcoin. Like I'm not really too sure. But it is worth noting the Trump and Cook issues. Uh, I've been seeing a ton of notifications about it. I don't really know at all if that's like something that's moving the market, but it like I said, it's worth mentioning. And then of course the today there was some inflation readings, and well, it came in as expected, which is good. It has an increase, but it's like at 2.9%. I think the report that came out this morning, like an hour before the U.S. market opened, and well, it didn't go down, but it didn't go up. Regardless, 2.9 is I believe what I saw, and um it is putting less pressure on the Fed to cut rates when it comes to that. But of course, we're going to continue to see jobs numbers. We're going to continue to see a whole lot of stuff, and we'll see how it goes. But as of right now, like it doesn't make sense to me, at least in my own opinion, that you know, um, for this next meeting to be very hawkish, right? It's just we're way too far into this. Um, maybe not. Tariffs are actually influencing these higher readings, but regardless, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's rather not. We have opportunities to accumulate in what could be discount prices, right? So we're gonna take a look at that in a moment. And then you guys gotta remember too that normally August tends to be fairly red. I mean, in 2025 here, this is as of right now. To here, I can refresh it as well. This is as of right now 6.81% negative. It's pretty much in line. Like this is very like we see a ton of red in Bitcoin right now, and it's not really anything out of the ordinary for this time. And when it comes to next month, uh, September tends to be, for the most part, flat, but it does tend to be red. So it's just keeping that into check, right? I think it has to do with some like eventually switching to like Q4 or whatever. However that plays a factor, but it doesn't matter too much. It's just worth mentioning. But here's the thing, right? So everything I'm gonna say is it's just my own opinion. Everything that I have said is my own opinion. I just like to share with you guys what I'm looking at, and publish it for you guys. And it's very important everyone do their own due diligence. But here is here's what we've seen before. I I don't expect a lot of people to remember this, even though it didn't happen that long ago. But if you guys consider the last time we had major fear in the market, it was like crazy amount of fear. Everyone thought it was over. The last time this actually happened, there was a little bit of a this was a little bit similar, but most of the correlation was here when it comes to the characteristics in the macro. So basically, during this time when we topped out, we finally broke over 100K, and everyone is extremely positive, extremely optimistic. Like everyone forgets that there's still risk. And as we were nearing this extension, it was very. I was documenting all this, even this entire dip. I was still posting videos and keeping track of it. And what I said down here, I said that, hey, there's a lot of external factors influencing Bitcoin right now. In my opinion, it's a lot of stuff happening in the macroeconomic environment that just happens to impact Bitcoin, because Bitcoin technically is still considered a risk on asset. It's a very young tech and is still considered a risk on asset, if I'm correct. So a lot of this negativity, a lot of this dip, although realistic, because I can't show you guys, but we were trading down here. Last time we were in deep value, like before 2025, it was down here, and it was the same thing. It was trending down. You can kind of tell, like, there was some. I was keeping track of the highs and lows, but we were in so much major macro fear that has nothing technically directly to do with Bitcoin, and it caused a very prolonged correction. And then eventually we came out of it. Then we had this one, even though we were down here, the price bottomed out in this level right here, around 50K, and it was just, man, the amount of fear, right? It starts to recover before the fear starts to fade. It's just how it is. So when we were down here, we had a ton of like inflation, tariff, you name it, right? Like everything was out there. There was a ton of fear. We were very much discounted, and we had a massive rally over 100K. So this correction was actually um expected to be this low. There was like, if you follow it with an overall retracement from the low all the way to the high at that time, it actually fell in line with that very well. But everyone forgets about it. Everyone forgets about the technicals. Everyone forgets about how there's value within the investor sentiment. You can visually look at with fibs, but it was just so much fear due to external factors for the most part. And then eventually rallied out of it. And by the time a lot of this fear actually faded away, we were already like pumping. And what I'm trying to say with that is that as of right now, an overall retracement from the last time we were actually in short-term deep value. I do a really bad job at like color coding and labeling things, but last from down here all the way up to the current high, this area right here. I mean, there was another short-term deep value opportunity that we caught very nicely, and I accumulated into it before the price pumped up, and we made some decent profit. So we had that. Now there's another opportunity to capture short-term deep value, in my opinion, and we're actually like just entering into that area, and it's at 107K. Anything from 107K and below, that's short-term deep value, and we see these deep value purple areas fill due to external factors. So everything we're seeing right now is very, very similar to earlier this year when there was just macroeconomic issues, a lot of fear, that caused a large sell off. But eventually, when this sell off comes into an overall retracement, especially from a major low, um, it tends to be a really attractive opportunity. And the more we fill a deep value area, and remember, it doesn't just start at 107K, but it can come all the way down to 93K. We can break below 100K, and I'm going to keep adding. I'm going to keep accumulating IBIT. I'm going to continue to buy. I am not putting any more into this investment that I am not willing to lose. If I were to lose that 75K I invested, I'm good. Um, I'm not over leveraged by any means, but it's very unrealistic to think that I would lose that. Again, as of right now, I am still expecting higher prices this year in 2025. But when everyone's fearing, and I'm over here just keeping an eye on large picture retracements, every time we see a sell off, and you guys remember too, every bull cycle, especially within the last year of the bull cycle, we see aggressive double digit dips happen all the time, and then we usually see a very quick recovery after it bottoms. So as we're continuing to downtrend, and I kept giving you guys warnings. I'm like, hey, I'm buying IBIT right now. I'm accumulating that. I'm not leveraging with BitU because, well, we don't have bullish confirmation. The price topped out within this small picture resistance around 113K and never came up into the blue overall resistance, which will actually give it a much better chance to hold a higher low and go up higher. We failed. Since we don't have bullish confirmation, we haven't even started the first phase of the bullish confirmation, then there's just no reason to over leverage yourself. That's why I'm buying IBIT as of right now, and I will continue to do so. And then once we actually have bullish confirmation, I'll be looking to buy BitU. And regardless if the price comes all the way down to like into the 90s, like I'm still not gonna buy BitU unless we get bullish confirmation. And now at this point, I will continue to follow the price lower with the overall resistance, and quite simple. It's just continue to follow it lower into short-term deep value. As of right now, we still have a little bit more room for this first support area to hold. It can come all the way down to 106K, and it could potentially bottom at that point. I mean, 106K is still within the short-term deep value purple, but I am not going to be over leveraging myself just because it came down to a specific price. The whole purpose of these areas is to show how far the price can potentially go before it finds support. But we also got to keep in mind that if we're looking at a big correction due to macroeconomic fear, then we can go a bit lower. And I plan to continue to accumulate down into this area because anything below 120K Bitcoin to me is incredibly great value. So imagine me thinking that and the price is below 100K. It's within support. It's still within support. It will still be within support at like 95K, for example. So I have no reason to like be feared. Like it's expected unless we get bullish confirmation, and I will update you guys once I see bullish confirmation. I already explained in so many videos what that looks like, but I will update you guys. Until that happens, I'm expecting the price to completely fill this area and go all the way down to basically 90K. So it's as simple as that. Like we've seen this before. We've seen deep value areas like this get filled during external fears due to macroeconomic conditions. Like it's as simple as that, right? If we just seen this before. I'm just repeating myself, but we've seen this before. And now in Mara, if you guys been watching for a while, everything's the same. Everything's the same with Mara. Basically, we're in the sideways channel with an overall support, and then we have a yellow line right here, which will indicate when the overall uptrend that we've been seeing is invalidated. We've been getting some pretty good buy and sell opportunities. Like we got some really solid trades in Mara this year, but we're in another accumulation point with the yellow swing low right here, this line being where it invalidates the uptrend. If that happens, we have a large gap. This is just an estimate at the moment. This support area down here is just an estimate at the moment. I will update it more properly once we actually, if we break this level, if that happens, I'll be able to actually give you guys an official one. It's just an estimate. But basically, ever since then, and again, support area with short-term resistance and then overall take profit being anywhere starting at $20 and above. It's as simple as that. The further we go up into this area, the more aggressive I believe people should be looking to sell, because this is not going to be very sustainable, but we still have the possibility of going up there as long as the uptrend holds. And again, that yellow line right here is the spot where it invalidates it. 1346 basically, or 1345. But basically, we've been trading sideways for a while. We have not yet had a sustained break of structure to either direction. So until we do, just like we've been taking advantage for a while now, where we have like really good opportunities for longs, really good opportunities for shorts, and it just keeps happening with take profit being as simple as the support and resistance lines for rather your short or long. But it's as simple as that, and it's very important for everyone not to be greedy, in my opinion, because as you can see, uh, every time we reach these trend lines, the price does not hold past it for very long, and we saw that happen here once again. So that's why limit orders are so important. Just set it, forget it, let the trade handle itself, and make sure SLs are set too, because a break of structure can happen at any point. But until it does, we had another opportunity very briefly within market hours to sell, take profit on any longs that the moment we hit this area was time to buy, and take profit was the moment we hit this line. It's as simple as that. There's no reason to be greedy or overthink it. Now with shorts being the way to go at that point yesterday, it's just there's just no other way of saying it. It's as simple as that, right? That's why limit order is so important, because it's a lot faster than us if we're constantly checking the prices. Don't check it. Just let it handle its thing and SLs, and the trade will take care of itself. Um, as of right now, we have a long weekend though, so we can see some choppiness or some inconsistency, because Bitcoin can trade. It can do a whole lot of things over these next 3 days before the market opens on Tuesday. So with that being said, as of right now, until Bitcoin does something, I'll keep track of it, and I'll update you guys so we can stay updated, at least from my view. But as of right now, without this weekend yet playing out, we're just in the beginning. It's Friday evening right now, and we're waiting for market open Tuesday. As of right now, due to that information is not being available, it takes time for the weekend to go through, and we'll see how Bitcoin fluctuates. But as of right now, the idea is that we will continue to see this sideways channel do its thing, and the next stop would be coming down and hitting this line once again. It's as simple as that. If the setup is a sideways consolidation pattern where we see a very nice channel forming, with the 0.5 being the median area to start paying attention to risk management at $15.68. By the way, resistance is 1623, support is 1511. So it's as simple as that. There was an opportunity to take profit on longs and open some shorts. As of right now, and my opinion will most likely change, because again, we have 3 days before the market opens and Bitcoin will continue to fluctuate. As of right now, the view is for lower prices before we find support and go up, and then we're gonna repeat the same thing, guys. I don't make videos really during market hours. I want to start live streaming market hours soon, but the idea is that I don't need to update, because I've been giving heads ups ahead of times, and the trades have been playing out incredibly well. And remember, this entire area, like if you were to do it conservatively and not even consider the whole area, that's 5%. So as of right now, I'm short term bearish, but then after that, we're bulls, bear, bull, bear, until we have a sustained break of structure into either direction. These trades have been killing it. Like we've been getting some really really good opportunities here, and we can continue to see so. If instead we actually hit the resistance before hitting support, um, it's not good enough for me to assume that we're gonna have a break of structure. Like if we go up back into resistance before hitting support, like I think it's still gonna be a really solid opportunity to take shorts, but time will tell, and I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah, hope you enjoyed and take care.